Welcome to Cathedral. I'm Father Greg Sakowicz. First of all, special thanks again to Mark Teresi and David Jonas. David and Mark, I can't thank you enough for the beautiful music you provide to open and close the video. So thanks very much, Mark and David. Special thanks once again to Lori Doyle, who does everything for the spiritual video reflection, pulls the whole thing together. She's the choreographer, does everything. So Lori, week in and week out, thanks for this and all that you do so much, especially behind the scenes. We are into the 17th Sunday in Ordinary Time. How quickly time is flying. We are more than halfway done with the month of July. It's going by way too fast. Way to begin. I like this story. An elderly couple, they were celebrating their 60th wedding anniversary. The couple had married as childhood sweethearts and moved back to their old neighborhood after they retired. One day, holding hands, they walked back to their old grammar school that they went to school together. It was not locked, so they entered and found the old desk that they shared where Andy had carved, "I love you, Sally." On their way back home, a bag of money fell out of an armored car, practically landing at their feet. Sally quickly picked up the bag, not sure what to do with it, and took it home. There she counted the money, $50,000 that fell out of the armored truck. Andy said, "Honey, we've got to give that money back." Sally said, "Finders keepers." She put the money back in the bag and hid it up in their attic. The next day, 2 FBI agents were canvassing the neighborhood looking for the money, knocked on the door, and one asked, "Pardon me, but did either one of you happen to find a bag of money that fell out of an armored car near here yesterday?" Sally quickly said, "No, sir." But Andy then interrupted, saying, "She's lying. She put the money up in the attic." Again, Sally quickly said, "Don't believe him. He's getting senile. He's losing it." The agents then turned to Andy to begin to question him. The first FBI agent said, "Tell us the whole story from the beginning." Excitedly, Andy said, "Well, Sally and I were walking home from school yesterday." The first FBI agent turns to his partner and says, "We're out of here." Great story. We're out of here. We pick up today's gospel story with Jesus looking up and seeing more than 5,000 people coming toward him. Jesus turns to his disciple Philip and asking, "How are we going to feed all these people?" Philip, being a rather practical man, says, "Jesus, 6 months' wages would not buy enough bread to feed this large crowd." Philip could also say, "We're out of here. Jesus, are you losing it?" Both the stories of Elisha in the first reading and the gospel regarding Jesus tell us that what was believed to be a shortfall actually turned into a windfall. Scarcity was transformed into abundance. What might God be saying to us today in these fascinating readings, the 17th Sunday in Ordinary Time? The gospel partly reads, "There's a boy here who has 5 barley loaves and 2 fish. But what good are all these for so many?" It's amazing what God can do with so little. But that's part of the problem. Many of us feel if we don't have that much to offer, we don't have that much to give. We see ourselves as rather ordinary, not extraordinary, like some of the things God seems to be asking us to do. Some people seem to be very kind, merciful, generous, compassionate, and this comes rather easily. And for others, every loving act seems to take every ounce of energy, and forgiving seems to be, for some, impossible. I know people who are married who cannot say to each other, "I'm sorry." They can't say, "I'm sorry." How does a marriage exist without ever apologizing? We can't always be right. Sometimes we're wrong and you say, "I'm sorry." but it only seems that way. It's true that at times we're weak, we feel in the pits, doubting, frustrated, stress-filled, inadequate, frightened, and sinful. But the love and mercy God is asking us to show others does not have to be manufactured by us. We are not its source. Every good gift, every good thing comes from God. Everything. And because they do, they can never run out. Even at those times when we feel like life is passing us by, we have nothing more to give. I guess much of what can be achieved in spiritual life is based upon perception. Andrew saw 5 loaves and 2 fish. Jesus saw a possibility. Some saw a woman caught in adultery. Jesus saw a possibility. The Jewish people saw unworthy Samaritans. Jesus saw a possibility. The disciples saw a shameful execution, their Lord crucified. And Jesus saw a way to save the world, to love this world back into life. True story. The story of a 4-year-old boy who has a brand new baby brother. And the 4-year-old boy says, "Mommy, can I spend time alone with my new baby brother?" And Mom thought, why would a 4-year-old want to spend time alone with his new baby brother? Does he want to beat him up or something? So Mom says, okay. The 4-year-old walks into the bedroom where his baby brother's in the crib. Mom closed the door, but she's peeking. So just in case the 4-year-old starts wailing on his baby brother, she would drag him out of there. The 4-year-old goes up to the crib, peeks in, and says in a voice loud enough to be heard to his baby brother, "Tell me about God. I'm starting to forget. Tell me about God. I'm starting to forget." Incredible. Is there a connection between a newborn and God, having just come from the womb, the mystery of life, the beauty of life, that as we grow older, we get so busy about so many things, we start forgetting about God? When Andrew mentioned to Jesus that a boy had brought a small lunch of 5 loaves and 2 fish, Jesus welcomes the news. He saw a possibility. Yet most of us, or most of the time, we overestimate our own judgment while underestimating God's power. We mistakenly weigh life in the balance of our smallness rather than embracing life by the measure of God's greatness. Do not think that the little we have to give is unimportant to God. The story suggests we first give God what we have, believing God will take our gift and supersize it for God's glory. Through it, 5,000 are fed. And sometimes we feel we're not doing enough. In life, what do we hunger for? What are we looking for? We all hunger for something on a physical, intellectual, emotional, and spiritual level. As St. Paul writes to the Ephesians in the second reading today, "I plead with you as a prisoner of the Lord to live a life worthy of your calling that you have received, with perfect humility, meekness, and patience, bearing with one another lovingly." Cato the Elder, an accomplished orator and writer, was also a Roman statesman. When he was 80 years old, he started to study Greek. Someone asked him why he began to study Greek at such an old age. Cato answered, "It's the earliest age I have left." I like that. It's the earliest age I have left. Too many of us spend time thinking it's too late to start over, too late to learn, too late to play, too late to change. Strangely enough, it is apparently never too late or too early to make excuses for ourselves, or never too late to help others. The earliest age we have left is now. People will forget what we said, but people will never forget what we did or how we made them feel. May God bless all of you. Continued summer blessings. Amen.